Gentlemen, I want you to place your hand on your stomach. Not figuratively, do it right now. Feel that. That is your control center. That is your energy source. That is the very foundation of your health, your mood, your vitality, and your longevity. And right now, with what you're putting into it, it is not a temple. It is a crime scene and the most damning evidence. You've been ignoring the single most powerful rule on the plate. Most men miss this simple food rule and pay the pure hours in the gym. Those matter, but they are built upon a foundation you are actively eroding with every meal. The rule is not about banning carbs or gulping down kale. It is far simpler, and missing it is costing you your edge, your health, and your future self, gentlemen. Let's excavate the psychological and physiological wreckage of this single, ingrained habit. The compulsion to finish everything on your plate. This isn't just about manners or frugality. It's a pre-programmed script running in the background of your life, written in childhood and reinforced by a culture that mistakes volume for virtue. From the moment you were told, you can't leave the table until you've cleaned your plate, you were taught to outsource your body's most ancient, intelligent signal, the signal of satiety, to an external, arbitrary measurement, the emptiness of ceramic. You were trained to eat with your eyes, not with your gut. This creates a fundamental and dangerous disconnect. Your stomach, which can hold about a liter, is speaking to you in whispers of pressure and contentment, but you are listening to the loud, commanding voice of a parent from 30 years ago, or the visual cue of a portion size set by a restaurant whose sole motive is profit, not your health. Every time you obey that external command after your internal need has been met, you are performing a profound act of self-betrayal. You are telling your own nervous system, your wisdom is irrelevant, I will be governed by the portion. The price is a metabolic catastrophe in slow motion. Here's what happens at a biological level when you cross that line from fuel to overload. Your body, a magnificent and efficient machine, has a clear protocol for the nutrients it needs for immediate energy and repair. The moment you supply beyond that requirement, the entire mission changes. The glucose from those extra bites of pasta, that second roll, the last few ounces of steak your stomach didn't ask for, now floods your bloodstream. Your pancreas sounds the alarm, releasing a surge of insulin, the storage hormone. Insulin's job is to sweep this excess glucose out of your blood. But your muscle and liver glycogen stores are already full from the reasonable portion you consumed. So where does it go? It is forcibly converted into triglycerides and shipped straight to your adipose tissue, your body fat. This isn't a passive process, it's an emergency response. You have, through sheer volume, declared a state of nutritional emergency, and your body's solution is to build another storage unit. This is the visceral, abdominal fat that isn't just inert padding. It's metabolically active tissue that pumps out inflammatory chemicals, disrupts hormone balance, and lays the groundwork for insulin resistance. You are, quite literally, eating yourself into a state of chronic inflammation and metabolic dysfunction, one clean plate at a time. Furthermore, this habit systematically deafens you to your body's innate intelligence. Hunger and fullness are dials, not on/off switches. There is a vast, comfortable territory between no longer hungry and stuffed. That territory is called satisfied or fueled by consistently eating to the point of distension, the clean plate. Finish line, you blow out the sensitivity of those dials. You lose the ability to sense the subtle cues. You start to require that feeling of fullness, of physical heaviness, to register that a meal is complete. This turns eating from a responsive act into a reflexive, almost robotic one. The consequence is a constant, low-grade energy drain. Your body's resources, which should be directed towards cellular repair, cognitive function, and physical vitality, are perpetually diverted to the massive project of digestion, assimilation, and damage control for a system you have overloaded. You feel it as the afternoon crash, the brain fog after lunch, the stubborn weight that won't budge despite your activity. You are paying the price in every lethargic moment, in every labored breath, in the silent, creeping expansion of your waistline that you blame on age, but is in truth a receipt for every time you honored the plate over the wisdom of your own body. Breaking this cycle isn't about deprivation, it's about reclaiming sovereignty. It's the deliberate, conscious act of putting the fork down when your body whispers thank you, even if the plate whispers back, but there's more. It is choosing to be the author of your own hunger story, not a character following a script written by your past. So, let us be unequivocally clear. This is not a lecture on dieting. This is an urgent briefing on personal sovereignty. The simple rule: protein and plants first, water as your cornerstone, and the courage to stop before fullness is your lever of control in a world designed to make you soft, sick, and complacent. It is the operational standard for the human machine, when nothing less than optimal performance is acceptable. This is about reclaiming the authority you handed over as a child to an empty plate, and reclaiming it for the man you are determined to become. Every meal is now a deliberate act of building, not a mindless ritual of consumption. The fork is not just a tool, it is a scalpel for sculpting your future, a wand for weaving vitality, and a weapon for fighting off the decay of indifference. Wield it with intent. The price of missing this rule is not merely a number on a scale. It is a compound interest of regret, paid out in the currency of diminished energy, eroding health, and stolen potential. You pay it in the doctor's office with prescriptions for conditions you were told were inevitable. You pay it in the gym with effort that yields fraction of the results it should. You pay it at home with less patience, less presence, and less vitality for those who depend on you. You pay it in the quiet anxiety of looking in the mirror and knowing you are operating at half your capacity. This is the true cost, a slow, incremental surrender of the vibrant, powerful version of your life. Conversely, the dividend of adopting this rule is a profound compounding interest in yourself. It is waking up with clarity, moving through your day with sustained energy, resting with deep recovery, and building a legacy of health that allows you to lead, provide, and enjoy life on your own terms for decades to come. Therefore, the assignment is straightforward but profound. You must become an archaeologist of your own habits. Excavate the clean plate, mandate and bury it for good. Interrogate every meal, asking not, is this done, but is this serving me? See the protein as your foundation, the plants as your essential infrastructure, and the water as your cleansing lifeline. Recognize liquid calories for the saboteurs they are. Respect your sweat in the gym by not undoing it with cowardice at the table. And grant yourself the liberating grace of the 80/20 principle, which transforms this from a prison of restriction into a sustainable practice of mastery. This is the discipline of the modern man, not a punishment, but a privilege. Walk out of here today and look at your next meal not as a plate of food, but as a clear choice between two futures. On one side, the path of unconscious consumption, leading to the predictable price. On the other, the path of deliberate nourishment, leading to a prize of incalculable value, yourself fully realized. The rule is simple. The science is irrefutable. The outcome is inevitable. You now hold the operating manual. The only question that remains is whether you have the courage to finally follow it. Start now. Your future self is already thanking you. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this critical information. Remember, knowledge is only potential power. It becomes real power the moment you apply it. That simple food rule is your key. Take it, use it, and start building the stronger, more vibrant version of yourself that your health and your life deserve. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about the next meal, the next choice, the next time you decide that you are worth the deliberate effort. Your body is listening, and it will respond to the commands you give it with every single bite. We've covered the foundation. The rest is up to you. Go out there and own it. Goodbye and good health.